Hey everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. So this was a massive surprise. I had no idea that this film was available in 4K. Again, Amazon Germany. I sound like a broken record. I just can't stop buying off Amazon Germany. Now, I said that in previous videos before, that I'm very skeptical about buying 4K releases off Amazon Germany because I just keep going back to that box set that I bought, the Fallen trilogy. So Olympus is falling, London is falling. The films, the 4K transfers in them films were absolutely atrocious. They were DNR'd to death. There was little to no detail on them, and ever since that day I have been frightened to buy 4K. And it's other films as well, because I bought Dog Soldiers as well on 4K. Looked absolutely atrocious, no HDR on it whatsoever. And I've done the same thing with a film called The Witch Next Door, even though that did look good, but it had no HDR. So you just don't know sometimes when you're getting when it comes to buying 4K transfer or 4K movies off Amazon Germany. So I did do my homework on this one. I made sure that HDR was definitely on it. I haven't heard anything about the transfer, so that's, again, there is still an element of risk for it. So this is the parcel itself. I've already pre-opened it, and let's just look into it and see what film I got. So here we go. So the film is The Neverending Story. Now, I'm still staggered by the fact that this is actually available in 4K. Now the thing, like I said, I was a bit skeptical about buying 4K movies from Germany. But the thing that gets me excited about this one is, well, starting off, it's not the same company that kind of... I can't think of the name of the company that done the Fallen trilogy, but they did one of them. I think they might have done the Dog Soldiers one as well. So I knew now to stay away from them. I think they're called Concord or something like that. But they didn't do this one. It's a Constantine film. What got me very excited about this one is when you turn around the back and you see the features. The features are right here. There is actually a 10-minute documentary on the restoration of this movie. So I'm very excited now. The fact that they actually push a documentary about the restoration in this movie really does have me very excited. I can't tell you how much I love this movie. I haven't seen it in years. I am a huge Wolfgang Petersen fan. This is one of his kind of the film that kind of broke him into the whole mainstream. I think at the time it did actually had the biggest budget for a movie that was made outside of the States. And by God, it paid off, because I think it made close to nearly 100 million. It might have even surpassed 100 million, I think. And it was, it was an absolute mega hit. So what I'm going to do is I am going to watch this movie. I'm going to come back to you, and I'm going to give my thoughts on what I thought of the transfer. So let's do that. Right, so here we go, the transfer. This is probably the most conflicted I've ever felt after watching a movie in 4K. We'll get the bad out of the way first. So this is actually the German cut of the movie. So that means that the soundtrack is actually different. So when it originally got released in Germany, a fella named, I think his name is Klaus Dollinger, done the music for this movie. And then when America done their version of it, a fella named Giorgino Moroder, I think his name is, done the music for it. So the fact that we're getting the German edition, yes, it's a German soundtrack we're getting. So that means Lamal's Neverending Story song is not at the start of this movie. You get a different opening credit song, which is it's a massive kick in the teeth. I'm not going to lie, I do love that song, and it sets the movie up so beautifully as well. And the song is not at the end of the credits, at the end of the film as well. So that is a bit of a downside, I'm not going to lie. Now, having said that, there is some music, some of the original music from the American cut of the movie is still there. And the music that is put into it is still beautiful. It does sound beautiful. But it's one of those things that you grow up watching this movie and you know exactly how the music is meant to sound. And when it doesn't sound the way it's meant to, it just seems a bit odd. But like I said, the music is still quite beautiful in it. So it's still a bit of a downer, I'm not going to lie. Right, the second thing you'll notice in it is when Bastian goes into the bookstore at the start of it, you will see that on the book it doesn't say Neverending Story, it's actually all written in German. And the letter that he also leaves there as well is actually in German. So they're the only two scenes in the film that actually have kind of the German writing has been, or the English writing has been replaced by German. writing, or it could be vice versa, I suppose. So yeah, that's another thing that was in it. But again, that wasn't too bad because I knew exactly, you know exactly what the book is, and you know exactly what the letter said on it as well. So yeah, nothing too bad there. The other weird thing is the character of Teeny, I think his name is Teeny Weeny. He rides the racing snail. Don't ask me why, but his voice is changed in this, and he sounds a bit like, he has a real West Virginian accent, and he sounds god-awful. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds terrible. I cringed at... I was kind of going, I was just looking at my fiance and I was like, my god, thank god he is actually not in this film much, because I don't think I could actually listen to him. Right, that was the bad, now on to the good. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest, one of the greatest 4K releases I've ever seen when it comes to picture quality, and especially for an older 80s movie. I cannot believe what they've done with the transfer on this. It's a miracle how the way they have it looking. It is unbelievable. Now, I'm basing this off my memory of this Blu-ray when this first came out. Now, this is not the remastered version. I think there was a remastered version that came out. I'm basing it off this one. This looked absolutely terrible. So bad, actually, that I couldn't actually watch it. So, yeah, I'm basing it off that. But having said that now, even if I did have the Blu-ray remastered version, which I'm almost sure they did do, I know for a fact that this trumps it. This is a night and day difference. It is frightening how good this looks. The CGI now, unfortunately, looks really, really poor. It never looked great, but now it looks very poor because it's been cleaned up so well that it just looks, yeah, it just doesn't look great anymore. Well, it never looked great, so nothing really too bad there. Again, they had always had poor CGI, kind of like what you got with Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon always had poor CGI, and then when they done the 4K, it just, yeah, it showed it off even more. It is, I'm not kidding you, folks, the colours are unbelievable. The colours, I know, I'm not going to say, oh, it's the HDR that makes the difference. The HDR does something very special, no question. But the 4K resolution is on show. It can be clearly seen. Granted, you do have a few soft shots. That was always going to happen. That's all down to source material. But yeah, the colours are staggering. The black levels are incredible. Facial details look like something that came out today. I'm not kidding. Unbelievable. The sound, now the sound has a DTS 5.1 audio, so I don't know if it's the same on that one because I actually don't remember the sound on it. There's a bit of white noise to be heard, especially at the scene with the library at the start of it. You can hear a bit of that, and there's a bit, I think, near the end of it. It could be, I can't. Oh, it's the scene where he's talking to the wolf. You can kind of hear that hissing in the background. It's not too distracting, but it's definitely there. But other than that, the soundtrack is quite brilliant. I cannot believe that some of the scenes actually got my subwoofers really, really going. Especially any of the scenes when the nothing comes. It really does give your subwoofers a good going over, which is very surprising. I thought the audio was going to be very thin, but it's very... The dialogue sounds perfect. You can clearly make it out. Some great bass in it as well. Like I said, the subwoofers will get a good going over on certain scenes, not all the time, but there is certain scenes. So all in all, folks, like I said, I'm conflicted. Do I recommend this movie? Yeah, there's no question of it. Yeah, the soundtrack is a letdown, no question about it. Your man's accent, the West Virginian, can be ignored. Yeah, the writing on the book, who cares? The soundtrack is what's kind of got me a bit conflicted. But if you do love this movie, you have to see this version on 4K. It is staggering, and I really do hope you check it out. This is an Amazon Germany release, €25. If you do love this movie, and if you're okay with the soundtrack not being different, but still beautiful as well, definitely check this out. So that is it, folks. That is it. So as per usual, if you did like this video, please do give us a thumbs up, and if you could, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you do have this version of the film. Let me know what you think yourselves, and I'd love to. I just want to know were you as conflicted as I was when I was watching it. And yeah, and I hope to see you all again real soon with my next video. So take care, folks out there. Stay safe. Bye bye.